Hello, my name is HQ of HQ Reacts. Welcome to my channel. Please do me a favor. Hit the like button, share the stream, and click the notification button for new content.
Hello, everybody. This morning, this early day, this Thanksgiving Day, right? It's a beautiful morning. We had a terrible thing happen last night on the cusp of Thanksgiving. I just like talking on camera sometime. Let me listen to the president. What did the president say? Because I missed it.
In the history of our nation's capital, the D.C. Safe and Beautiful Task Force, which has achieved an unprecedented reduction in violent crime and crimes of all types. This heinous assault was an act of evil, an act of hatred, and an act of terror. It was a crime against our entire nation. It was a crime against humanity. The hearts of all Americans tonight are with those two members of the West Virginia National Guard and their families. The love of our entire country is pouring out for them, and we are lifting them up in our prayers. As we are filled with anguish and grief for those who were shot, we're also filled with righteous anger and ferocious resolve. As President of the United States, I am determined to ensure that the animal who perpetrated this atrocity pays the steepest possible price. I can report tonight that based on the best available information, the Department of Homeland Security is confident that the suspect in custody is a foreigner who entered our country from Afghanistan, a hellhole on earth. He was flown in by the Biden administration in September 2021 on those infamous flights that everybody was talking about.
Right.
Nobody knew who was coming in. Nobody knew anything about it. His status was extended under legislation signed by President Biden, a disastrous president, the worst in the history of our country. This attack underscores the single greatest national security threat facing our nation. The last administration let in 20 million unknown and unvetted foreigners from all over the world, from places that you don't want to even know about. No country can tolerate such a risk to our very survival. An example is Minnesota, where hundreds of thousands of Somalians are ripping off our country and ripping apart that once great state. Billions of dollars are lost, and gangs of Somalians come from a country that doesn't even have a government, no laws, no water, no military, no nothing. As their representatives in our country preach to us about our Constitution and how our country is no good. We're not going to put up with these kind of assaults on law and order by people who shouldn't even be in our country. We must now re-examine every single alien who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden, and we must take all necessary measures to ensure the removal of any alien from any country who does not belong here or add benefit to our country. If they can't love our country, we don't want them. America will never bend and never yield in the face of terror. And at the same time, we will not be deterred from the mission these service members were so nobly fulfilling. That is why tonight I can announce that I have directed the Department of War to mobilize an additional 500 troops to help protect our capital city. We will make America totally safe again, and we will bring the perpetrator of this barbaric attack to swift and certain justice if the bullets going in the opposite direction haven't already done that. During this time of the year, when we gather at home with loved ones, these two patriots were wearing the uniform of our country, patrolling the streets of our capital. They had taken a selfless oath to defend our nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And that is exactly what they were doing when they were gunned down in a savage attack. I want to express my extraordinary gratitude to every member of the United States military who is deployed tonight at home and abroad. I also want to thank the Secret Service and the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department for their work today. This Thanksgiving, I ask every family to say a prayer for the two great heroes who were so horribly shot, and for their loved ones. Please say a prayer. May God bless them and comfort them, and may God bless and protect the United States of America. Thank you and good night.
Well, nothing wrong with that message. Nothing wrong with that message, right? Nothing wrong with it. Hold on. So let me update us on the current message. Current people, whatever they doing. Kash Patel acted like he hadn't caught the guy. Remember when the guy, he was in the park and he did the update then in the park right there in the street? He pretended or he didn't realize they had already caught the guy, so he was talking as though they hadn't caught him, which made him sound kind of weird. But this is our update.
All right. I'm Mayor. Okay. Next to me, Mayor. All right, Alicia, you know where to go. Where's Blanchard? There he is. Okay, good.
Oh my God. Who is leading?
You know, it seems like we've been here before. Is this working? Is this on?
Yes, it's working, Goofy.
It's working? All right. Thank you all for being here on this difficult day. As you know, my name is Jeanine Pirro. I am the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, and I am joined here by several individuals who represent agencies who have been working around the clock since this horrific event happened. To my left, we have the director of the FBI. We have General Leland Blanchard of the National Guard. Mayor Bowser is here as well. We have Frank Saldana of the DEA, Chris Hecht of DHS, Executive Assistant Chief Jeffrey Carroll of the MPD, Darren Cox of the Washington FBI Field Office, and a special agent in charge, Samuel Ward of the ATF in Washington. Now, I want to provide you with an update on the tragic shooting that occurred on two brave members of the West Virginia National Guard as they served in Washington, D.C. Unfortunately, today, as most families join together to give thanks for the blessings that have been bestowed upon them, two families are shattered and destroyed and torn apart as a result of the actions of one man. First and foremost, our hearts go out to the victims and their families. These are dedicated service members who were performing their duties in service to our nation, and they are currently in critical condition. They have undergone surgery. We pray for their well-being as they continue to be cared for in the best possible way. We have been in constant contact with their families and have provided them with every resource needed during this difficult time. The two National Guards men that we're talking about are Sarah Beckstrom, who's 20 years old, and Andrew Wolf, who is 24 years old. They were uniformed members of the West Virginia National Guard, and they were in D.C. to keep D.C. safe, pursuant to President Trump's executive order to make D.C. safe and beautiful. They answered the call, they took the charge, they volunteered, they put their lives on the line for people they don't even know. And that, unfortunately, is becoming a reality more and more for the members of law enforcement. Yesterday on Thanksgiving Eve at approximately 2:15, near 17th and I Streets in the northwest section of the district, near the Farragut West Metro Station, two uniformed guardsmen were ambushed in a brazen and targeted attack. A lone gunman opened fire without provocation, ambush style, armed with a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver. One guardsman is struck, goes down, and then the shooter leans over and strikes the guardsman again. Another guardsman is struck several times. Fellow guardsmen who were there responded immediately, engaging the suspect, neutralizing the threat, and subduing him at the scene. He was transported to a local hospital where he remains, as we speak, under heavy guard. Thanks to the swift and coordinated response of the National Guard and the Metropolitan Police Department, no additional victims were harmed, and the scene was secured within minutes.
Right.
The suspect, he has been identified as Ramanullah Lakhanwal, a 29-year-old Afghan who entered the United States under Biden's Operation Allies Welcome, a program following the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. He resided in Bellingham, Washington, with his wife and, we believe, 5 children. We're working very closely with our federal partners, especially DHS and the FBI, to review his immigration history and the vetting process itself. What we know about him is that he drove his vehicle across country from the state of Washington with the intended
shut up, Donovan,
a target of coming to our nation's capital. As we stand here today, the charges that are appropriate right now are 3 counts of assault with intent to kill while armed, a violation of DC Code 22-401 and DC Code 22-4502. He will also be charged with possession of a firearm during a crime of violence. He faces 15 years under the assault with the intent to kill. We intend to continue monitoring what the charges will be, depending upon the well-being of the guardsmen. We are praying that they survive and that the highest charge will not have to be murder in the first degree. But make no mistake, if they do not, that will certainly be the charge, murder in the first degree.
Wow, that's wild. Yeah, she used to be on Fox News, right? She used to be on Fox News, and rumored that she has drinking problems. Kash Patel, like I said, got on TV last night and acted like they had not had the suspect. He's an Afghan, came in under Biden. They just gonna beat that hammer. Biden, Biden, Biden. Stop Biden. Stop talking about Biden. He's under your, he came in under you. You all gave him paperwork. He came in and he did this heinous crime. He has 5 children. This man has 5 children, and he carried out this attack right in front of the White House. What does that say? How can a person be right in front of the White House or went down the street or whatever, around a corner? How can that person be right around the corner, right down the street from the White House and carry out this heinous act? This is a failure on the Trump administration because you said you were going to keep DC safe. You said it was very safe. You said it was safe. We could trust your safeness. But this person did it right in front of the White House. Why did this person do it? That would be an interesting conversation as to why you felt so desperate, having had a wife and children at home, that you would take yourself away from your children because you felt so desperate about something. You felt so desperate about doing what you were doing that you didn't think about those 5 children and that wife while you were at home, while they were at home. What was he thinking? No, HQ didn't spend all day yesterday blaming white Christian nationalists for doing anything. You guys are goofy. What I said was probability, possibility. Get it straight, okay? Please get it straight. Y'all love to blame people. Stop fucking blaming people for things. Blame the people who did this. Blame the young man who did this. Stop blaming Biden. Stop worrying about all those other things. Man, conversation. You focus on the right thing. Stop focusing on the wrong thing. We have 2 young kids, 20 and 24, in a hospital fighting for their lives, and you worried about something else other than these 2 people and the person who did it. That's wild.
The department
Just immature. Damn, I hate talking to immature people. I know what I said yesterday. I said the possibility, the probability. Okay? I didn't say it was. I said possibility, probability. Please get it right. And I didn't stay all day blaming X, Y, and Z. I don't be on the internet all day. Please grow up.
Department of Justice under Attorney General Pam Bondi is committed to a thorough and an impartial investigation where we will hold this perpetrator.
Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. We just going over the day's news, other stuff that I heard after this. Just like, share, and subscribe, please.
Accountable.
Yeah, how did the person get a gun? Wait a minute. I thought that there was a perimeter around the White House. Like they wouldn't you? I don't know. I thought they would have people walking around. Well, I guess they were guards.
Under the full weight of the law. Now, Sarah and Andrew volunteered. They came here to protect the people of the district, pursuant to a crime emergency that President Trump rightly declared in this city and in other cities across the country. Our nation's capital should not and must not be a place where evil comes to commit violence, whatever their cause or motive may be. We should not have to live in fear in the nation's capital, especially by one who came here from a foreign country. Through a process that was so absurd that he came through and released into this country, as many were.
Y'all know this is a normal process for people to come to the country and want to come in. Now they're getting demonized for wanting to come into the United States. This has always happened from the beginning of our conception of this country. Immigrants coming over here. That is the beauty of this country, this melting pot we call the United States. I don't know why people want to change it. Get all of these people documented. Get all of the people documented. Stop criminalizing the people and give them a pathway to citizenship. That way, once you know who's here, you can start getting rid of the people that don't belong here. But don't demonize the people who came here and did the right thing. I don't mind this immigration process, this immigration, whatever he's doing. But you need to do it in a humane way where people who already been here, belong here, contributing to the system, doing what they got to do, should be able to stay. You should make a pathway for them to stay. And the people that don't register, immediately you got to register to be here in the United States. I would make it so they had to register all of them. You have to come down, bring an ID, bring your fingerprints, bring your face, bring everything, and then we can register you and we'll find out who you are. But the people who don't come are the people I know got issues and problems. But the way you're doing it, I don't like the way you're doing it. Everybody wants deportation. Everybody wants to clear out the country. We get all that. Stop saying we don't want that. We just want it to be done in a humane way. That's all.
Knowing virtually nothing about his vetting. This is what happens in this country when people are allowed in who are not properly vetted. These guardsmen and...
But that's the thing. He was properly vetted. He was properly vetted by the Trump administration. According to the Trump administration, he came in December. No, he came in 2021 or 2 under Biden. Then he applied for whatever he applied for in December. So at that time, once you knew who he was, once he registered to be here, that's when the vetting was taking place or should have taken place. So are we saying that the Trump administration failed at the vetting? Because apparently you all failed at the vetting. Okay. But then again, maybe you didn't, because he got 5 kids. He has 5 children here, guys. 5 children that he made on American soil, I'm assuming. And he's here and he and he throws all of that away. Why did he throw all of that away? 5 children and a wife. Apparently he wanted to stay here. What the hell?
All who are here to protect the district are the line that separates a civilized society from a barbaric one. They are the ones who stand for law and order. This was not just an attack. It was a direct challenge to law and order in our nation's capital. And the individual will be made fully accountable. And though it seems that we have been here before under President Trump, make no mistake, and the Attorney General, we will not allow this to be normalized. It will be confronted, condemned, and prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Right.
Now, my message to the individual who committed these acts.
No, she ain't drunk. She might have been drunk in the past. She might have been drunk in the past. I don't know. I've never seen her be on Fox News. So maybe she's been drunk in the past. But right now she clean sober. She better not come on TV and be sauce to the god. She better not be a victim of the grape today. She better not be on TV.
Is you picked the wrong target, the wrong city, and the wrong country. And you will be sorry for the violence and the evil that you perpetrated in our nation's capital. And now I call upon the director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thanks, Judge.
Kash
I'll begin my
Patel.
remarks.
Y'all put in the chat if y'all think he's an effective FBI director. Do you think he's an effective FBI director? Or what do you think of him, his handling of whatever cases that he's been involved in? Do you think he's an effective FBI director? I don't know. I've only really seen him yesterday, for real. So I don't know how he handles things, but is he effective?
And my remarks the same way, with prayer.
Put in something in the chat.
Prayer for our law enforcement community, prayer for our National Guardsmen and women, prayer for our brave prosecutors at the Department of Justice and the offices of the DC United States Attorney. We must come together as a nation, especially on this Thanksgiving Day, and remember the sacrifices that so many are making around the world and around this country to secure our freedoms under President Trump's brilliant leadership and administration. I'll provide an update on the case as follows. It is an ongoing investigation of terrorism. Make no mistake about it. The FBI is leading out on these federal assault on a federal law enforcement officer investigation on many fronts. We immediately, with our law enforcement partners in the Metropolitan Police Department and the interagency, secured the scene, seized the weapon, sent in our evidence response team immediately to collect evidence, and started doing block by block canvasses. We are looking for and interviewing witnesses. The firearm and other materials have been sent to our Quantico laboratory already yesterday for immediate analysis. That work is ongoing. Partnering with the DC United States Attorney's Office, we have also executed multiple search warrants around the country to include the subject's last known residence, which is in the state of Washington. The search warrant was executed on that house last night or early this morning, and it is an ongoing process. I
know their wife and those 5 kids are devastated. The wife and the 5 kids are devastated that he chose to do this. But then again, somebody said in the chat that he might have been mentally ill. They might have found some mental illness going on there. So this is not a this is a mental thing.
All the individuals found in the house have been interviewed, and some interviews remain ongoing. We will not stop until we interview anyone and everyone associated with the subject, the house, and every piece of his life. There's also subject interviews, relations conducted in San Diego, pursuant to our ongoing investigation. So, as the judge noted, this is a coast-to-coast investigation being led right here in Washington, D.C. And this subject definitely did pick the wrong country. And we will rise together as a nation to show the world what we do here. And we are thankful that we have the Attorney General's brave leadership and President Trump's brave leadership and priorities to safeguard our communities. I also spoke to Director of the CIA, John.
I guess he was a part of that program where, that program where Biden promised to bring over people who helped the Afghan people that helped the United States when we were over there, and they promised to bring those people over, and he was a part of those people that got brought over. I guess he was a part of that program in 2021 or 22.
Ratcliffe last night and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. There is confirmation now that the subject had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces. We are fully investigating that aspect of his background as well, to include any known associates that are either overseas or here in the United States of America.
Right.
That is what a broad-based international terrorism investigation looks like. We will provide continuous details to the American public while at the same time not jeopardizing the ongoing prosecution to ultimately hold this perpetrator accountable in our courts of law. We will provide as much transparency as possible, but as you can see, the breadth and scope of this investigation will continue. We will continue to hit the streets and hit every town and every house and talk to every witness. The men and women of the FBI and the Metropolitan Police Department and the interagency, to include the Department of Homeland Security, DEA, and ATF, are working tirelessly on this Thanksgiving Day. And I know just by talking to the leaders behind me that instead of going on and being with their families, everyone rogered up and showed up to work today, and none of them want to go home. That's the resolve that we have together.
That's amazing, amazing, amazing. Hey, I'm going to give you the kudos. Because we really, really, really want this to be put to rest, what happened to these young people. And you all being here on Thanksgiving Day, I appreciate it. And, I appreciate our law enforcement.
Together as a team to bring to you justice for this heinous act of terrorism here in our nation's capital. And as the judge said, we will ensure that our law enforcement partners are out there in full force to make sure the world can enjoy our nation's capital. We will not let this heinous act of violence prevent people from visiting our beautiful nation's capital. And we will also continue to highlight any evidence that we can publicly. And as the judge said, this individual is in this country for one reason and one reason alone: because of the disastrous withdrawal from the Biden administration and the failure to...
I can't with this. I don't understand what's going on with people who get on TV and blame other people regardless of who it is to blame. I don't understand why this administration feels the need to get on TV and blame the Biden administration for any kind of disaster. See, I don't believe them when it comes to things that are supposedly a disaster, because they don't take accountability for the bullshit that they have done. Stop blaming Biden. Biden is not in term. It's been a whole year. You all got his paperwork in December. You all were supposed to vet him then. It doesn't matter when he came in in the United States. It matters the actions that happened after he vetted you. When you all got a hold of his paperwork, why didn't you see that he was a cuckoo bird? Why didn't you see any of those things when you all were vetting him? Apparently, y'all didn't vet him right. It has nothing to do with Biden.
Vet anyway, in any way, shape, or form, this individual and countless others, and this administration has taken the rightful step to stop any further allowance of people with this similar background into the country, and we're thankful for that. And as I said, this investigation remains ongoing, and I think I'll turn it over to General Blanchard of the National Guard now. Thank you.
All across America this morning, families are waking up. They'll spend the day with their children, their brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, friends from across the community.
Yeah.
There will be the smell of turkey, all the fixings.
What is this trying to invoke emotion from people? What is going on? I don't understand. Isn't this a general? What is this? What is he talking about? Come on.
They'll watch parades.
Just give the facts.
Football games. They'll pray together. They'll talk about what they're grateful for. This morning, there are two families that will not have that opportunity.
What the hell is going on? What are you doing? You're supposed to be stoic. What's going on with this guy?
Andy and Sarah's families, They're spending the day reflecting on the past. And in the days coming, they'll reflect on and think about what could have been, what might be.
Right.
Because regardless of the outcome, we know that their lives, their families' lives are all changed forever. Because
everybody is sympathetic. Everybody heart goes out to those people. You know, my heart goes out to those 2 young kids that are 20 and 24, and those 5 young babies that idiot did this to leave at home to be raised by themselves, a single mother. Now he made a single mother, 5 kids.
One person decided to do this horrific and evil thing. And all across America, we are also reminded that there are many law enforcement agents, first responders, soldiers, service members all around the world who at best will come home, eat some cold turkey, open up Tupperware, eat what's left over, because they spent the day defending the American ideals, getting out there and getting after it on every American citizen's behalf.
Right.
I will say that the District of Columbia National Guard, this task force, is more committed this morning to the president's directive to make DC safe and beautiful. Our resolve will be tested. It is being tested, but make no mistake, each and every one of these soldiers and airmen will meet and exceed the expectation that we have for them. They are, in fact, America's best. I'm proud of each and every one of them. I pray for each and every one of them today, and in particular, for these 2 young service members who are willing to go above and beyond and pay whatever price our nation asks of them. I ask every American today to keep them in their thoughts and prayers as you go about your day. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
You fired. I was your boss, you would be fired. Get your ass the hell up off TV, whining, sniffling. What the hell?
Mayor, where's Mayor Bowser? Yeah.
Thank you, Judge. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C., and I want to associate myself with the remarks of our Adjutant General from the D.C. National Guard. I want to be very clear what the judge and everyone has reported here. Somebody drove across the country, came to Washington, D.C. to attack America. And that person will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of.
But we have to remember, this probably has nothing to do with America against Afghan or Afghan against America. It could possibly just be, we don't know what the reason for this person doing what they did. And they're trying to frame it as foreigners attacking America. That's probably not even what this is. That's what I don't like. They're trying to frame it like, well, we got to bolster our argument against immigration. So let's put this in that category as Afghan against American. And it probably wasn't even that.
The law. These young people should be at home in West Virginia with their families.
Damn, just like that?
DHS. Anyone? Okay. I also want to say that both Sarah and Andrew, I believe, were sworn in less than 24 hours before they were shot on the street.
Get your ass out of my chat, casual gamer. Get your ass out of my chat. And you can stay in the chat. I don't give a shit. Stay in the chat. Crash out. Crash out. If you come over to HQ's chat, you already know I don't give a shit. What you do? Crash out.
Any questions? You know, as the directors indicated, this is a fluid investigation. People are working around the clock. It's
Wait a minute, is her job higher than Kash Patel's? Is her job higher than his? So why is she doing the talking and Kash Patel ain't doing the talking? What's going on?
too soon to say what the motive is, but there are definitely areas that we're looking into, but not ready to say.
Okay.
Yeah, he got shot by another guardsman.
He
Yeah.
got shot by another guardsman. Shadow girl. Oh, okay. I got you. I wasn't sure what her job was.
Shot him again. Yep. Well, the specific number. Look, he had a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver. Okay, so I believe that's a 6-shooter. Yeah. So, you know, that kind of tells us how many shots he had.
Wait a minute, you said she's a judge? So how is she giving information about, why is she giving the briefing about what caliber of gun? She's a judge. Wait a minute, let me shut up. This is the Trump administration. Let me shut my ass up. These people who clowns are experts. The world's topsy-turvy. Let me shut up.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't even want to talk about whether they should have been there. We ought to kiss the ground and thank God that the president said it's time to bring in more law enforcement to make sure that a city that had the 4th highest homicide rate in the country was that violence was quelled. I'm not even going to go there.
Wow. Wow.
Was the suspect granted asylum, and if so, when did that happen, under which administration, and did authorities miss any signs, either in the asylum process or even back when he reportedly worked for the CIA?
Wow.
Well, you miss all the signs when you do absolutely zero vetting. And that's exactly what happened in this case.
Whoa. What do you mean zero vetting? You all did the vetting. He applied for whatever he applied for in December. The Trump administration was supposed to vet this person. When this person came in, he came in under the Biden, you help us in Afghanistan, you get to come here. He came here under that rule. Okay, fine. Let's give Biden the fucked up part that he deserves. You brought somebody in here and maybe you didn't do any kind of vetting, but I'm assuming they did a little bit of vetting. No, he came in, he applied for whatever he applied for this December, past December. He applied for the Trump administration. And then the Trump administration vetted him or whatever, and then he got his paperwork or whatever in April. So he was supposed to be vetted under Biden. When he came here, he was vetted under Biden. He was one of the people that helped us in Afghanistan. They let him come. I'm assuming they did some vetting. I don't know. But the whole point is the second vetting was supposed to happen under the Trump administration. Because they said he came here. No, they said he applied for something in December. And then the Trump administration gave him something in April. I don't know whether it's paperwork or he applied for asylum. I don't know what he applied for. Somebody said.
When you, in the prior administration, made the decision to allow thousands of people into this country without doing a single piece of background checking or vetting, that's how you miss every single sign. And Secretary Kristi Noem has put out details specifically related to your other questions, so I'll let that speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe Kristi Noem put that out, and that's a DHS matter, and I'll refer to them.
Could you elaborate on the investigative steps that were taken?
Sure.
You mentioned Bellingham, Washington.
Sure.
No, that's your job.
So what happened was, thanks to the quick investigation by the interagency and the FBI, we were able to track down his last known residence.
Right.
Working with the United States Attorney's offices here and at the Department of Justice and prosecutors across the country, we were able to serve search warrants literally overnight
Yeah.
and through the night.
All night.
And we were able to hit the house in Washington State. During that process, we seized
Right.
numerous electronic devices to include cell phones, laptops, iPads, and other material that is being analyzed as we speak.
Right.
Pursuant to that investigation and any known associates of the subject and of that house is how we ended up in San Diego, where interviews were
Okay.
conducted and are going to be continued to be conducted. And we will go anywhere in the country or the world where the evidence leads us. All of that is an ongoing investigation.
Right.
Does anyone give an update as far as Sarah and Andrew who were injured? You say critical condition. Can you give anything beyond that? Are they expected to make it? Is it touch and go? Can you tell us a little more about how they're doing?
Right.
It is Sarah Beckstrom, Beckstrom, and Andrew Wolf with an E, Wolfe. Okay,
Right.
and Sarah Beckstrom.
Yeah, I know something, Rick. I know something happened in December. He applied for something with the Trump administration for asylum in December. Was it that he applied for asylum in December and then they gave it to him in April? What was that? Put it in the chat. I know it was something. I heard that he did something in December with the Trump administration and they gave him something in April.
Oh, S with an H. Okay. Now, with respect to their medical condition, as I said, they are receiving the finest medical care. Their families are with
Right.
them now.
Right.
They are critical. I think you understand the meaning of that. It's not clear, how this is going to end up. But let me be perfectly clear about
Right.
how it will end up in this office.
Yeah.
If one of them is to pass, and God forbid that happens, this is a
Right.
murder one, period, end of the story. We are praying on a day like today when families come together in America and they hold hands around the Thanksgiving table. I beg you, I beseech you to pray for these two young people that they survive. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Happy.
Yeah, we're not going there.
She said, we ain't going there. They don't even know how to conduct themselves. They don't even know how to conduct themselves. It's wild. I mean, look, these things happen. I mean, at least the guy was caught right then. The guy was caught right then, right? At least he was, they were able to, get him, find out what's going on. He's Afghan. I don't know. We don't know. He left behind 5 kids, a wife, all because he felt the need to do what he needed to do. I wonder what drove him to do what he needed to do. But this is another thing I got. I ran across this report. I don't know why I'm going to do this, but this is some wild shit. Y'all hold on. And somebody tell me if they know anything. Listen.
Expected that, well, let me just put it out there. I think Candace Owens is married to a gay man. It's just something about their whole marriage, how they got together within 2 weeks, and all of a sudden they were madly in love, got married, had kids. This seemed like some kind of arranged marriage, or as they call it, a lavender marriage, when someone in the relationship is homosexual and then, it's basically like a cover-up relationship. Let's go ahead and get into this tweet right here. But first, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into this, you guys. With all the controversies, and especially now that Candace is claiming that her life is in danger and the prime minister of France is trying to have her, the Macrons are trying to have her assassinated. And it's kind of like, where is her husband, George? Like, where is he? Well, he seems like he doesn't really care about whatever is going on in Candace's life. Like, they live 2 separate lives. Well, according to this tweet, George Farmer like the boys. That's why he don't really care about her. He's too focused on the men. All right, let's get into it, y'all. Here we go. All right, so it's from this account called Colonel Kurtz. Now, they had put this. They said, yes, Candace's husband was accused of sexual assault by Breitbart editor and major conservative figure, Raheem Kassam. Now, I haven't really heard about him too much. Like, I know he's in the conservative realm, but I don't really watch him, or I'm not too familiar with him, right? So these are some old tweets from 2022. So the first one says, I know more about this world than I care to. Mercer tried to get me to tell Bannon to shut up about populist nationalism. I was the guy who hired Milo, and Milo's one of those, we'll talk about him later. Farmer was sexually assaulted me. Candace blocked me for calling her sham marriage out. I told y'all it was a sham, y'all. Allegedly a sham. I know this from all angles. Okay. Then he says she's trying to deflect from her husband's public homosexual assaults on people, but also she's being vague intentionally. Personal feelings equals personal animosity.
Well, apparently this person went back and got all of the tweets. Somebody tweeted some little thing regarding Candace Owens' husband being gay or attacking somebody in a sexual way, another guy. And then this guy started to do research and found tweets of the guy he actually tried to assault, allegedly. So this is him finding the tweets on X that support the fact that Candace Owens' husband is gay, allegedly.
And then he says, I'm not sure she wants to be raising the spectrum of homosexuality given her husband's conduct in public. Nevertheless, I'm not even sure she really is. She talks about personal feelings. I think she's actually referring to personal animosity, but being vague on purpose. And this was in response to this person that said, I'm talking about yay. And she didn't say in love. She said personal issues, which is true. I've talked about it many times. I take trying to have me fired in 2016 personally, indeed. Also, addict is harsh. I'm a recreational weed smoker like her husband, talking about George Farmer, and side piece. Oh, not the side piece. Who's the side piece, y'all? And then Raheem, he says, don't get me wrong. I think it's cringe, and so is that fraud, Candace Owens, who blocked me for telling the truth about her sham marriage. But on balance, it's funnier to watch these big men reduced to tears over a t-shirt. Laugh my ass off. How are you all just hearing about this?
The person named Raheem is the person that allegedly was assaulted by Candace Owens' husband. Then you have to hear the tale of how they got together for it to sort of fall into play. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying these tweets supported that.
I called her out on.
His name is Raheem. This is who's tweeting. The person who was attacked by Candace Owens' husband.
On her hubby trying to grope me and kiss me multiple times. She blocked me for it. Y'all, this is my first. I was today years old when I heard about this. I've never heard about this before. Let me know in the comment section if you guys heard about this. And then a commenter said, are you gay, Raheem? Serious question. Thought you were straight, but hey. And he said, no, he is gay. I am straight. Hence the complaint. Try and keep up. So somebody was basically trying to allude to Raheem was gay. And then it said, why would Candace marry someone who is pretending? Doesn't seem like her. However, I trust you more than her after she bashed President Trump and stabbed him in the back. Then Raheem said, yes, I wonder why the perennial grifter Candace Owens would want to marry into a family of a wealthy British lord. Very difficult to figure out. So, I mean, man, it's right there. It's right there. I mean, he's right. Of course, she would want to marry into the Lord family. Like, why wouldn't she? she wants to be rich.
Right.
Who wants to be broke?
Right.
You know, what person wants to be broke? She wants to be rich. And Candace seems like she'll do anything for an opportunity. I mean,
yeah, but most of us don't marry people for money. Maybe she's an unusual woman. Maybe she married him for money.
All these years she sold black people under the bus for fame. She don't care about being righteous. She don't care about none of that. Then somebody was making fun of his looks and stuff like that. But then here's Raheem as of 4 hours ago. He says, I've spoken about it at length for years. Look it up. So again, and then there's a tweet in here from Milo. And Milo, who we're just talking about, the AKA the white nationalist, even though he's married to a gay black man. Yeah, that guy is weird. All these people used to work with Kanye, or Ye, as you want to call him. Right. So I believe they're all freaks. You know, Ye, he came out and said that he sucked off his cousin when they were, listen.
Whoa.
All of them are in this. Let me just say that.
Wow.
But anyway, it said Candace is a wealthy woman who could have done anything and had anything. Her marriage made almost anything possible for her.
Right.
But she has a fatal flaw that resurfaces anytime she's operating without strong male oversight. She doesn't know she's stupid. Damn. He continues, at the Daily Wire, this must have been around the time she got fired. At the Daily Wire, Candace was waxed, tweezed, plucked, and together on course to maybe one day be a big ass a newscaster, a network anchor. I'm sorry, in her own way, despite her obvious mental and emotional shortcomings. Plus, obviously, the loco for Cocoa Puffs ice bitch vibe from having a gay husband.
He's reading tweets from people talking about Candace Owens' husband being gay. Because if you look at the way that they got together, you look at the way that they talk about their relationship, I don't know. There's a lot of people who get married because one person wants to hide the fact that they're gay, that they have a persona that won't accept the fact that they're gay, because you got a lot of people out here talking 2-point crazy about gay people. So maybe Candace Owens maybe her husband was one of those people. He was from a Lord's family. And maybe they just didn't accept the fact that he was gay. No.
Then, let me tell you something. Candace Owens' husband is getting plunged. Woo! Y'all, this is crazy. You know, this is wild right here. And like I said, out of all the stuff that Candace has gone so hard for Charlie Kirk. Right. I feel like Charlie Kirk was the one that, quote unquote, got away. Like, that's how Candace treats this situation with Charlie Kirk. Yeah, is it suspicious the way that the whole assassination went down? You know, we're not going to pretend like it wasn't suspicious, but she's going harder for Charlie Kirk than Erica Kirk, his wife. Erica Kirk went back to business and making sure that the brand is good. Right. Candace Owens is the one out there trying to be Inspector Gadget and figure out what's really happening and what's really going on. So, I mean...
Well, Candace Owens did say if Erica Kirk wants her to stop, that's all Erica Kirk has to do is call her and tell her to stop. Has Erica Kirk called her and told her she wants her to stop? I don't know. She don't seem to stop, did she?
Listen, if I was her husband, I'd be like, okay, can you focus on me? Why are you focusing so much on him? But I mean, shit. She busy looking at her other man, and he busy looking at his men. So, you know, they ain't got time to really be caring. But I wanted to show you guys a quick clip of like their quote unquote love story. If you guys care, let's go ahead and check it out. And like I said, just the way they got together and the way they talk about it, it was always just weird to me. And this kind of confirms my suspicions.
Listen to the way that he describes how him and Candace got together. Listen to the way him and her describe how they got together. Candace Owens and her husband.
And I want to say something too. There's nothing wrong with being gay or anything like that. The thing is if you're assaulting people, that's the crime. That's the actual issue. and you need to be held accountable for that. Here we go. Let's check this out.
An amazing love story. I have such an interesting how I met my husband story. It was totally a God thing. It really was. I was working for an organization called Turning Point at the time, and I bizarrely kept saying to Charlie, who's the founder of Turning Point, like, we should go to the UK. Long story short, I take his credit card and I book us to the UK, and we had an event that was set up for us to just kind of speak in front of a room full of reporters and people that were interested sort of in this conservative movement that was happening in America. And my husband now was in attendance. And I promise you, while I was on stage, we had locked eyes, and I was just like, wow, that guy's really cute. Like, you know, what's funny now is that at our engagement dinner, his best friend, who was the best man in our wedding, read the text messages that George sent to him while I was on stage. And he was like, that's my wife.
Stop.
Yeah.
You need to like frame that.
We both instantly knew he was heading to South Africa for New Year's. And it was just literally 18 days after we met. And he's like, do you have a moment to FaceTime? I said, yep. He was getting onto the plane. And he's like, I have something to ask you. I love you. Do you want to spend the rest of my... Yes. And we have never said anything, like nothing.
So he proposed to you over FaceTime?
Over FaceTime. And I said, yes.
And
who does
she
that?
did this. We did this event. They did an event at the Royal Automobile Club in London in 2018.
No, you got to listen to his version. This is his version. This is crazy.
So how you just don't, y'all ain't really even had a conversation.
Nope, no
it was
conversation.
Just all like you were just infatuated with this man and was all like, yes, I'll marry you.
Yeah, that's apparently what they saying.
But again, I get why Candace would be down for it. You're married into the Lord family. You know, and listen, I'm American, so I don't really understand the whole Lord and everything like that. But it's high stature. It's
right.
Like marrying like a Hilton or something like that. That's how they perceive like the lords and stuff like that.
Yeah, we get that.
For about 300, I would say 300 to 400 people, and I was in the audience, and I just, something about her demeanor just kind of instantly struck me. I mean, it was very unusual. I remember messaging a friend of mine, you know, a couple of days afterwards, just being like, there's something different about this girl. There's something different about.
Had you met her yet, or just seen her from stage?
We'd shaken hands, and that was it.
We had shaken hands. And that's all we had done. We hadn't done anything else. We hadn't talked. We had just shaken hands, and it was something about this American Candace. Something about her.
And then the next night, I organized this dinner for a whole group of people. So it was her and Charlie as well, and they actually turned up 3 hours late because they were doing a podcast in the countryside.
Right.
And so when they came back into town, it was kind of like 3 hours late, but we sort of got to know each other a little bit better. And then the next week I flew over to the States to see her speaking at a conference in Florida. And nothing had been said. Like there'd been no romantic overtures at all at any of these.
No romantic overtures whatsoever. But he flies and he goes and he does. This is the regular rating ritual. But he has done no approaching of her at all.
At this point, it had all just been very kind of above board and talking about politics and engaging in kind of philosophical conversations. And then at the end of December, we started. I called her a couple of times just to kind of chat, and again, you know, just had these long, like prolonged conversations, which
were
mainly about politics and trying to understand what she wanted to do in life. And at the end of December, I was actually flying to South Africa at the time for New Year's, and I called her and I just said, listen, I know this is completely crazy and we've just met, but
and we just met.
How do you feel about getting married to me?
Just real quick. I missed the bit where there was any sort of.
There was literally nothing romantic.
There was nothing romantic between him and Candace Owens. He just asked her to marry him. And yet we have these tweets over here of a man saying that Candace Owens' husband groped him, fondled him, tried to kiss him. I don't know whether it's several times or not. And he keeps saying it. He keeps saying it. This is what happened. This is why Candace blocked me, because I told her her husband did X, Y, and Z to me. But yet she is so romantic that her and her husband got married. that it was no romance between her and her husband, and he just out of the blue asked her to marry him 18 days after they met. Who does that? You don't know anybody after 18 days of talking to them. You don't have any romantic feelings toward that person. You might have some, slight feelings, but not romantic, no sexual or anything like that. But yet it's a whirlwind romance, according to her.
Been said up to this point.
Okay.
I mean, literally nothing.
So I missed nothing.
We hadn't gone on a
No, you didn't miss nothing. There wasn't no romantic nothing.
date. We had not talked about marriage or the future or anything like that.
All right.
And and she said yes.
No.
Yeah.
Come on.
She did.
That didn't happen.
Yeah,
You're making it up.
It's all fiction. Fake news. No, it was.
This guy's not even Candace Owens' husband. I thought it was weird that he would refuse to go to Paris. Who is he?
And people can have sex. People can have babies by putting a turkey baster up their cool wazoo. They don't have to have sex, right? You can get inseminated. You don't have to have sex to have kids. Don't she got 2 kids with him?
The shit is weird, y'all. Can we just admit
the shit is weird? We get it.
That right now, like it's a little weird. Like,
right?
What? And I'm anti-love, so maybe I just don't get it. But reading that tweet and just knowing how he's not really involved in the day-to-day what's going on with Candace, I can't even say like behind the scenes, because like when you have, and I hate to agree with Milo, but she needs a strong male figure, and she doesn't have that. Obviously, this is why she's going off the cuss and talking about.
I don't know why y'all keep saying that Candace need a strong male figure. Candace is a male figure. I don't know why y'all keep saying she need help. She don't need no help. That woman know exactly what she's doing. She's driving her relationship. She's driving that marriage. She's driving everything that's in her life. She's one of those people that knew what they wanted to do when they came out the womb. I'm going to marry this rich dude. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. No. Candace don't need no help.
Somebody's trying to assassinate her. Mind you, she wants to get help from the White House, the same White House that she said, or that she alluded to, had something to do with Charlie Kirk's assassination. She's just all over the place, y'all, and she ain't that smart and that bright. And listen, if Candace like it, I love it. If she wants to be in a lavender relationship, make your money. That's all I got to say, Candace. Make your money. You married into the Lord family, who is very wealthy. You getting your reparations one way or another. I love you, Candace. Right. Let me get the hell up out of here, y'all. But let me know what you think about.
Yeah, this was, he found tweets from, I don't know when the tweets were, but I know he found tweets last year of this Raheem Kassim saying that Candace Owens' husband groped him, tried to kiss him, tried to do X, Y, and Z. And he, something happened. It was a scandal, whatever. But it really never got out because, like I said, I never really heard of Candace Owens until I got on here. And maybe she's been, more so in the religious realm that I wouldn't have known her because I'm not religious at all. So this man said this is what her husband did. So I kind of tend to believe something like that. Allegedly, this is all alleged. Let's do the allegedly. Don't try to sue or do no goofy shit like that because you ain't getting no money. This is what he's uncovered. So is it true? Could it be true? But then there's a lot of people that live undercover lives because their public persona won't accept them as being gay or trans or whatever. There's a lot of people who live this lifestyle. I wouldn't be surprised if Candace and her husband lived that lifestyle. I wouldn't be surprised at all, right? Nobody's saying, there wouldn't be a surprise at all, okay? Because she doesn't seem like she's married. She says she's married, look like they got kids, look like all that and a bag of chips, but I don't really see any passion between those two. I don't really see anything like that. So it could or could not be true. We don't know. Oh, yeah. Here's another thing I found. Just one or two things that I be finding around the internet. Shit be going on. Hold on. We finna read it. We finna listen to this videotape. Uno momento. Hold on. Shut up, girl. Hold on. Let me pull her up. Listen to this shit.
So I went to a TPUSA Faith event tonight, and I want to talk about it. Thinking that I was going to enjoy myself and learn things because TPUSA is obviously a conservative faith-based foundation, or so I thought. I thought I was going to be informed about politics stemming strictly from biblical principles, and that's not my experience. So right off the bat, the speaker comes up and before he even gets into preaching or talking about politics, he begins by calling out Candace Owens and saying that she is evil and anti-Semitic and what she's doing is evil. I immediately wanted to leave. I didn't want to be there any longer listening to this nonsense because right off the bat I know that that's just not true. And the only reason I didn't leave is because on the way in I basically got security checked 5 times because there was armed men standing everywhere in front of me. They were very suspicious of me.
At the TP event, I thought the TP USA event, I thought that was a very accepting, regular, Christian, morally upright organization. Why is it that all these little stories keep leaking out like a little spigot is turned on about indoctrination, cult-like behavior? This young lady said she went to a TPUSA event and she got very uncomfortable from the things that they were saying.
I don't know. There was also an armed man on stage, hand on his gun. The security was everywhere. And I was I just don't want to deal with it. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it just didn't feel right. So I'm in this church and I'm listening to this TPUSA speaker go on and on about Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and how they're evil and anti-Semitic. And he basically indirectly is saying we should support Israel because Jesus was a Jew and we wouldn't have Christianity without Judaism and blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I disagree with that. What they're doing in Israel is evil and they're so corrupt. It's insane. And telling Christians that they should be supporting this evil doing because these people are Jewish, and if you don't, you're anti-Semitic, it's wrong. And also, I don't think Charlie Kirk would stand for that. We know as the weeks before his passing, he was starting to call out Israel and question Israel. And Candace Owens was his best friend. What? So then he goes on and he starts preaching.
See, this is a question I have. Was Candace Owens at his funeral? Did they invite her to the funeral? She's such a good friend of Charlie's. Why wasn't she invited to the funeral? If she's such a good friend of Charlie's. I'm not saying she's not. I'm not saying she is. I'm saying, why wasn't she at the funeral? I mean, if he was my best friend, I would have showed up. I don't give a shit who said what. So why didn't she show up to the funeral? I don't know.
But the way he was preaching, it wasn't really preaching. He was just literally calling the left names. He called the left idiots.
Calling the left names. So when she went to a TPUSA event, the person that was on stage who considered themselves a Christian human being, a Christian man, was on the stage calling the left names. But yet this is a religious organization, right?
He called them freaks. He called them it didn't feel right. And my thought process is, would Jesus be doing this? Is this biblical teaching? You're calling people that we disagree with as Christians all these names and loser, idiot, freak.
And this is what I don't understand. You call yourself a Christian, and yet you do this. You call people names. You call people loser. You're a Christian.
Really? Because last time I checked, Jesus ate with sinners. He ate with prostitutes. So you're...
Yeah, I could have sworn Jesus flipped the table on you motherfucking Christians. Well, who did he flip the table on? Jesus flipped the table, not on the poor people. He flipped the table on the rich people, the abundant people, didn't he? Yeah, apparently a lot. I don't understand a lot.
Spreading hate.
I don't understand nothing.
Literally, and that's not what God stands for. He's preaching to people whilst spreading hate. And these people are absorbing this information. These teenagers, these young people are absorbing this information, thinking that this is okay. This is a leader. This is someone we put on our stage teaching us this. This is the future generation of Christians. Do we really want to be more divided? Like, oh, we're just going to hate on the left because we disagree with them. We're not going to share the Bible with them. We're not going to like help them because we think that they're lost. We're just going to call them losers and freaks and make fun of them and laugh it off. It was quite disgusting, and I'm not pleased at all. So basically, I didn't learn a thing. He spent the entire time talking about liberals and how they're stupid and blah, 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 and like how men shouldn't be in women's locker rooms and women's sports. And I'm thinking we have more important things to talk about as Christians in this nation than things that we see plastered all over online. Like, yeah, we all know. We know that men shouldn't be in women's sports. We know that they shouldn't be in women's bathrooms. That's not the most important topic, okay?
Of course it's not the most important topic, but you got the Republicans thinking that we're supposed to fight a cultural war every day. Of course, you're not supposed to have men in women's bathroom. Of course, you're not supposed to have this. We know this. But every time we have a conversation about the nation, about the direction we're going in the nation, they want to bring up, do I know what a woman is? These are unserious people. These Christians are unserious about the nation. Yeah. So that's the first one that I ran across. What the hell is going on at TP USA? What the hell is going on? TP USA. Here we go. And caught on a hot mic. A hot mic. A hot mic.
No.
What's your opinion on racism?
I've had black friends.
What's your opinion on racism?
I'm actually racist. Yeah, I'm just straight up racist. He's never not.
I'm naturally racist. Just straight up racist. This is TP. This is that TP USA place that's supposed to be so accepting, so religious, and so willing to bring in all types of people and all types of culture. Just so X, Y, and Z. But yet we have a young minister who ministers to a lot of people in the TP USA congregation. Remigration. Take your ass back to the country you was born at or from, you originate from. That basically is what that means.
Not said that. There's no inconsistencies. Yeah. I support remigration.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
All right.
What is that? What is that? And do you really support it? I really do. What is it? That was a big...
That's all I had to do was mention it one time. They crashing out in the fucking chat. Why are you crashing out in the fucking chat about what a woman is? What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on?
Saying we were going to we colonized Liberia specifically to send the African Americans back. And I truthfully, I do feel bad. We did that to a lot of them. I do feel bad for the American Negro. I think they do have somewhat of a plight after slavery, and so I do support reparations, but I also support remigration, sending them back. Racist people. No.
What's your opinion on racism?
I've had black friends.
What's your opinion?
Yes, they are full of crazies. They crashing out in the chat. They are full of crazies.
On racism.
I'm actually racist. Yeah,
He's naturally racist. Yet and still, this is the Republican Party. This is part of the Republican Party that always asks the question, why do you black people stay on the plantation over there in the Democratic side? Because y'all racist as hell over there on the other side. But it is what it is. That's the recording that she found. No, this is the recording that we found. We ain't finna try to play like it wasn't recorded. We ain't finna play like the boy didn't say what he said. He said what he said, okay? And he belongs to the TP USA organization. So basically that means if y'all don't disavow him, which they haven't done, that tells me you people from TP USA believe what he believes. So if he believes what he believes, then you're all racist over there. That's all. Ain't nobody. It is what it is. We used to seeing race. We used to seeing that shit. So it is what it is. So those are the clips that I found for today. That's the update of today. We got our shooter. He was caught right then, right there on the spot. So we didn't have to do anything like that. We ain't gonna have no more updates because I ain't doing jack shit because I'm watching Stranger Things. I gotta watch the Stranger Things and get caught up on my Stranger Things and then be back here tomorrow to do some more content. God only knows what kind of news we're gonna have between now and tomorrow because the president is surely gonna put out some crazy shit, right? Did you all hit the like, share, and subscribe button? I appreciate the like, share, and subscribe. We just have like 1 hour, 2 hour segments of news. Nothing crazy, nothing outrageous. Just hit the like button, just our commentary on what's going on in the world. Trump blue bubble. Lord have mercy. Y'all hit the like, share, subscribe so you'll know, and the notification button so you know when we go live, okay? We go live every day, maybe for an hour, maybe for 2 hours, might be morning and night, who knows? But you'll know when you see the notification. This is HQ. I appreciate you all, and please hit like, share, and subscribe. I will talk to you later. Hit the like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.